Good afternoon and welcome for the first time this Six Nations to Parma's Sergio Lanfranchi, home of the Azzurri. Round 3 sees Italy on hosting duties as a thistled crusade rolls into town, pitting together a pair with real points to prove. There was a point proven, not that it was needed, earlier on, as England made it 36 straight test victories against Wales in Bristol, and then completing the pointy set, France-Ireland will bring the curtain down for us out in Clermont. A grudge match, if ever there were one. A win for Italy today, and they will rocket up this table. One for Scotland, and they will pile pressure on the Irish and keep their hopes of a top 3 finish alive. It is gorgeous here in Parma, just south of Verona and of Milan. Quite the homecoming for an Italian side who had to open up their campaign away to France and then to Ireland, and who could really use a boost right about now. They've not won a game since they already thumped Brazil at the World Cup 230 long days ago. If winning is a habit, then the home side today are pretty rusty. One good first half and one good second half so far. Stoic against the French for 40 before fading, and then transformed by their halftime oranges against the Irish. They are a generous splash of consistency away from actually proving competitive. In the blue corner, World Cup quarter-finalists in September, Scotland, for the first time since 2002. But so much has changed since then. A whole new coaching ticket, 5 big-name retirements, and a wince-eliciting injury list. Their challenge is to banish the ghosts of last week's pummeling by England and draw upon all the intelligence, all the grit that they used in conquering Cardiff. And that is what they are all playing for. Glittering in the April Italian sunshine, resplendent beneath cloudless skies in Parma. It's been a real festival feel to the day so far. But the trophy won't be settled for a little while, and whether or not these two outfits are involved in that, this one matters. And to none more so than Silvia Turani, who has caps right across the Azzurri front row and now has 50 of the things. Named in last year's team of the championship, they love her for the dominant shots and turnovers on field and the infectious energy and infamous baked goods off it. Alongside me for this one is World Cup winner Nolly Waterman. Nolly, this one is so beautifully poised, isn't it?
It's a fantastic setup between two teams that are underperforming at the moment, considering the talent that they have rippled across their team. I think Scotland have been very unlucky losing Rachel Malcolm so close to kick-off, but what an opportunity for Lana Skeldon to lead her country for the first time. And when I saw her before match, she said, "I'm just going to be me." So I think if she does do that, she will do just fine.
A moment of silence before we proceed in remembrance of Gianfranco Armoli, a true servant of the women's game, who coached Italy between 2007 and 2009. And now, a pause before we head into the anthem. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Flower of Scotland, followed by Il Canti degli Italiani. closing as the shadows lengthen here in Parma, while Fabio Rosselli has gone fully loaded up front. Tight head Vittoria Zanetti will earn her starting debut. She is a bucket load of fun. And veterans Tirani, Duca, Fedrighi and Giordano, a muscular, experienced spine. It's a third half-back combo in as many weeks. Centurion Sofia Stefan getting the nod alongside Veronica Madia. 20-year-old Sara Manini continues her meteoric rise from 12, and that is as pacey a back three as you will see. Sione Fukafuka, seeking his second win in charge, has made 5 changes, one just hours ago. Rachel Malcolm is out with a knee knock, so it's Lana Skeldon skippering from hooker alongside Demi Swan, who receives her first test start. It's meant an entire back row reshuffle, and there is newness to be found in the midfield too, where Lucia Scott is at outside centre for the very first time. Scotland might have lost one talisman, but they've gained another this week. The pirouetting, defence-decimating sensation Fran McGee is back in the run-out 15. A 6-2 split for Fukafuka, who wants muscle down the home straight. Lou McMillan, the epitome of resilience, is back in tartan for the first time in 2 years, and Becky Boyd has been summoned into the 23 after Malcolm's withdrawal. Well, 2 years ago, here in Parma, Scotland made history, notching an unprecedented Six Nations win on Italian soil. A year on, the Azzurri had their revenge, punishing their badly off-colour hosts in Edinburgh. It is on as even, the last 4 between these two, with an average margin of just 8 points. Tight as you like, and today, crucial as you like too, because winning this afternoon is going to require the shelving of some pretty potent recent hurt and some big performances from some very fresh faces. Robbie Jenkinson is our referee, Zoe Nolder and Emily Hope his assistants, and Dan Jones is our TMO. Scotland, ravenous and all in lilac, playing from left to right. Helen Nelson gets us underway, and captain Elisa Giordano will carry to the cusp of that 22. Sofia Stefan clears with all the class and composure you would expect of a test match Centurion.
Yeah, nice and calm start from the Italians, but probably not quite the distance she would have wanted. One thing I am very impressed with, though, is the size of this crowd. Having been here for a number of years, seeing people, Italian shirt, supporters of all ages in all 4 stands is fantastic. It's a great atmosphere.
Zebre came unstuck just last night in the URC against Dragons, so Parma have turned out in full force on this gorgeous bank holiday Saturday to get some winning feeling back in those blades of grass.
That's one!
Scotland winning their line-out ball at the first time of asking. Shona Campbell carrying there into the guts of the Italian defence. Awkward bounce for Nelson, but it's come off her shin, so we play on. Brebner Holden onto captain Lana Skeldon. Eliane Clark's on her shoulder, and this is Meryl Smith offering herself for the first time. Well, first blood in the outside centre, head-to-head, probably goes to Michaela Sillery there with the dump tackle on Lucia Scott. But it's still Scotland ball in what is punishing heat, 25 degrees, and it feels hotter in the sunshine. Nelson raking that one through.
Just outside. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good option from Helen Nelson. They weren't really going anywhere, probably overplayed a little bit in that half. Not necessarily challenging the Italian defence in terms of what they were doing. Yes, they were getting their shape quickly, but the Italians off the line and hitting them around the gain line.
Top pass from Valeria Fedrighi, just about clung onto by Francesca Scorbini, the blind side. They head to the short side through their latest half Centurion, Silvia Turani, who knows so many of these Scots from her time playing for Harlequins in the Premiership in England. Cleanly taken by Campbell. Alissa de Inca shaping for the steal, but nothing going on that occasion. Here's Holly Cunningham. Nelson. Smith with the mazy footwork. Veronica Madia had to work hard to make that tackle, and Scorbini has her first turnover of the afternoon. Oh, Zanetti with a little head of steam, and on the rampage too. A bullocking run from the tight head. This really is the year of the prop. Dummy run from Tirani, Vittoria Vecchini. Italy up over 10 metres, and unlike Scotland, they are going forwards. Ball in hand, skip pass from Manini. Muzzo stopped by McGee. Important hit there.
It's a brilliant clear out from Michaela Sillery. She made sure that that ball wasn't turned over on that edge.
Such exciting back threes on the field today. Edge defence will be absolutely critical. Still Italian ball, bouncing pass, so tough to gather. And so it proved.
Yeah, it's a difficult catch, wasn't it, for Dinka there? So you see Scorbini, they were poaching at every breakdown. They weren't quite getting their hands on the ball, so obviously the referee was letting it, but that was an easy one for her. Chop tackle, Mira Smith straight down, and the number 6 for Italy, for me, is one of the most consistent performers year in, year out for her. Her work rate is phenomenal around the park, and she will be really critical for them today.
Wearing that Italian 6 jersey. Just to the other side of your picture there is Francesca Scorbini.
Crouch!
Part of an Italian pack that's got good 50 kegs on Scotland. They're not a big pack.
Bind!
Scotland. Particularly today, they've gone very mobile.
Set! Okay, yeah. Let's just respect the space. Okay, balance and stability. Both sides.
Okay.
Both sides, balance. Okay, just here. Yes. Yes, I will. Okay, balance here.
Robbie Jenkinson, our referee, who made his test match debut
Okay,
last
keep the
week
break
in
foot on.
Cardiff.
Balance. Let's go.
Calling for balance from Silvia Tirani, Vittoria Vecchini, Vittoria Zanette, Demi Swan, Lana Skeldon and Eliane Clark. The bruisers in the ring for the time being here in
Crouch! Bind! Set! Steady now.
Clean platform. First receiver Smith, which means Nelson could whip that wide onto Rulli. Bumps off Sillery with disdain. Italy like bees around honey at that breakdown straight away. It's clearly something they've been tasked with this afternoon. Brebner Holden finding Cunningham. Emma Wassel.
Wingers on.
Here is Vittoria Ostuni Manuzzi. Loves that little chip and chase, but the way ahead was pretty thick with defenders, and Brebner Holden's carried back in field. Italy come up once again, and it's the other flanker this time, young Alissa Ranuccini.
It's a great turnover.
Play.
And off they go.
And they've gone quickly. Vittoria Ostuni Manuzzi, she's like Teflon. Just about scragged. Scotland on the scramble. Italy need to work this now. Head out wide. Sillery's there. De Inca on her shoulder. De Inca will score Italy's first home try of the campaign. And the stands on the far side erupt in Parma.
It's a phenomenal try. It shows just how they could catch the Scottish napping by going quickly. Dinka back in her usual position, out on the wing. Now Sillery's back. I think the counter-attack and the kick was all right, but the fact they shifted it quickly to the edge to one of the most potent wingers in the game. You know, we haven't really seen the best of her the last couple of weeks. So at 13, she looked a little bit lost, but yeah,
Nice time.
she's rapid. She's going to score that one.
Okay.
It is the returning Michaela Sillery on kicking duties, Italy's second all-time points scorer. Just wide. I'll tell you what, Scotland will be sick of the sight of Alissa De Inca. She scored against them in the 2024 edition of this tournament and put a hat-trick on them in Viadana in a World Cup warm-up just 8 months ago. Well, Fabio Rosselli talks about brand Italy, attractive, attacking rugby, and we've not seen much of it so far this campaign. Let's hope that was a sign of all that's to come.
Use it!
Ranocchini's carry from
Onside
the
pillars.
restart. End over end from Stefan, gathered mid-air by Rolly. Toulon player to Toulon player there, scrum half to fullback, Italian to Scott. On an arcing run is Nelson, vice-captain. Scorbini with the tackle, Skeldon, the outright captain in the absence of Rachel Malcolm, but she's gifted it to Medea. Vecchini will play scrum half, Scorbini. Third most carries in the Six Nations. Here's Giordano. Little half break. They were practicing those offloads in the warm-up, but they will have been practicing them in the hope that they didn't result in that.
Yeah, the Italians look energised, don't they, in attack? A lot of their carries, they're really accelerating in the Scottish defence, who look a little bit shell-shocked. They don't look like they've come out the blocks as firing as we've seen in previous games.
Patience again. Thank you.
Yeah, these are the little areas that the Italians
Thank you. Balance and stability,
want
doesn't
to
matter.
try and make sure keep out of their game. Yes, it's beautiful weather. Yes, it's a dry field and they want a quick game, but too many of those, and the Scots move it to the edge. They are lethal out wide. A little bit more control. That's what we haven't seen in the first couple of rounds from Italy. More structure.
Crouch!
And then let themselves go.
Bind! Early. Think.
Well, they call Sophia Stefan energy, and that's exactly why. A second quick tap in the space of 3 minutes, and Rolly has done quite brilliantly under pressure there.
Yeah, no, just cross the line here and then we can...
That feels a little harsh.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. If you're Scottish, obviously. If you're Italian, not so much.
So, Vittoria Vecchini.
Okay.
Playing her 43rd test match at just the age of 24. It feels like she's been around forever. As is so often the case,
Backwards.
looks for Giordano, but it's landed in the breadbasket of Zanette, the Lyon tightheads, making her first start in Italian colours today. Giordano pops up everywhere, the captain. There seems to be two of her sometimes. Stodgy breakdown, courtesy of Emma Wassel, but here goes Aura Muzzo, player of the match in this one last year. Stefan, quick ruck ball. Nice hands as well from Turani onto Duca, who arrived at pace. Medea across the face. Oh, the Italian hands today are a cuss above what we've seen so far this championship, and that is commentator's curse at its most devastating.
Oh, it's a phenomenal offload, great support. She did all the hard stuff. She released to get back up again. There's just a knock on at the end, but I'm really enjoying the pace that the Italians are shifting the ball. But
I just felt you were overleaning on the last one, okay?
Yes, we've come to expect that from Sophia Stefan, the scrum half.
That's fine, yeah. You stay square.
But what's impressive and what's great is that Medea, the number 10, is in position and she's ready to go, and she's got options. And that's where, as soon as you've got options, they can tip at the line and they're challenging the Scottish defence.
Crouch! Bind!
Scotland will go from deep here. Scottish outfit have not yet made it into the Italian 22, which is symptomatic of their tournament as a whole, really. They're struggling badly for entries. Chloe Rolly's hoping to fix that with a little help from Lucia Scott. Emma Orr wore that jersey in round 1, Evie Wills in round 2. It's the turn of the Loughborough Lightning fullback Scott.
Taken back. And wingers on.
Nelson's cultured cannon of a boot, asking questions of Aura Muzzo, the quickest in the squad by all accounts. Not afraid of a bit of a rumble either. Straight into traffic. Medea chases her own. Rolly. Oh, what a shot! So well read by the little scampering fullback, but Veronica Medea said not today.
That's excellent coverage from Rolly at fullback.
Extra row.
The fact that the ball came back as well from there, obviously, is a turnover at the breakdown.
Okay, leave it.
Rolly is so crucial to the Scottish side. The work that she does,
extra row.
You know, time and time again, the gathering of the ball at the back, the defence. But this breakdown seems to be going in the Italians' favour. Yeah, positioning. Those bouncing balls are difficult to pick up. Lucky she's quite low to the ground anyway. The little whippersnapper. I can say that because we're about the same height, but she's a very talented player. They're going to need her today.
Well, it's a lovely touch finder from 20-year-old Sara Manini. She's been working hard on those by all accounts, and it's allowed Vakini to throw this one from all of 5 metres from a second score inside 15 minutes. And just look at those blue jerseys get to work. To within a couple of inches, Stefan will go it alone, reaches, stretches, surely. Well, the smallest player on the pitch couldn't get it done, but the biggest one absolutely could. On her first start for her national side, it's a beaming Vittoria Zanetti, pure blood and thunder.
She's been brilliant around the park so far, so to get that try was superb. The line out was rejected by the the Scottish defence to start off with. They were hammered in ball defence in the first couple of rounds, so they stayed down. But that pick and go is way too easy. Just didn't defend the blind side, and it opened up the big number 3.
Nil from 2 for the campaign now. Michaela Silari. Italy have the worst goal-kicking percentage of the lot. And the shot clock has expired upon her, so it'll be 0 from 3, and that's 4 points gone begging.
Yeah, it's a big error, isn't it, from such a senior player?
Just make sure you kick it on her before the line. Okay, you're too far past last time.
Well, Vittoria Zanetti was here just 2 years ago playing for Italy under-20s in the summer series in Parma, where she absolutely carved up, named on the team of the championship, and went a little bit viral for a swan dive. No, a swallow dive, must get my birds right. A swallow dive over the whitewash, which you don't see from tight heads often enough.
Hats off to her.
Use it!
I think she's big, literally, for the Italians. I think when you lose a player like Tunese in the back row to retirement, she was a big, mean hitter. They're not a big pack. They don't have a lot of weight, although they are 50 kilos heavier than this Scottish side. So she's, you know, as a young player, going to be really critical for them moving forward. Just how long she can last in this heat, I think it's, you know, it's impressive, isn't it?
Her replacement's no physical slouch either. Alessia Pilani is 6 foot tall, wearing 18 on the bench.
Onside pillars.
But the next few minutes, all about Scotland, who need to respond, need to get a foothold in this fixture, because it's Italy, the famously slow starters, who have blown the doors off this thing. Valeria Fedrighi, titles with Saracens and Toulouse domestically. Vakini once more.
Use it!
Calling for a little more meat on the bone is Stefan, and up she goes once more. Nelson with that trademark fend, and eye for a gap, but Zanetti from attack to defence just like that, and Tirani's gone and chicken-winged it out of the breakdown. There's pressure here on Scots. And all of a sudden, we're in a game of football. Scots onto Scorbini. And the breakdown is an area that Italy are ruling by fist right now.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a mess there.
Advancing in front of the kick.
Some of the breakdown work in terms of the turnovers, though, I think they're Tirani getting over for the steal, shifting it. Scotland have to be careful that they don't try and play this open game that the Italians want to. They're clearly, you know, they are very comfortable in this sunshine. They've been looking forward to it. Getting that little bit more structure, and yeah, just seeing a pretty decent carry from Helen Nelson. Unfortunately, if she's on the floor, you need someone to be stepping up and organising.
Completely one-way traffic so far, this one, and that will only help matters. Keeney has picked out her captain to perfection. But the line-out's been sacked, and our referee's very happy to let Italy have to wade their way out of difficulties here. Tirani nearing the end of the first quarter here at the Sergio Lanfranchi. Italy, remember, hunting for a first win of the campaign. It's been a tough few weeks in the office for Fabio Rosselli's women. What a boost this would be.
Knock on there, counter looks good, and she knocks it on at the back. Yes. No.
Interesting, Scotland decided to go up and compete then. Chucked Wassel up. Obviously, if you put someone in the air, your defence on the ground isn't necessarily going to be as strong, but they got into position really quickly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
And the Italians took it down.
No, yeah, so both players bent. Okay, it's unavoidable, no foul play.
Yeah, just talking about head-on-head, it's just a rugby collision, isn't it, there?
I know what you're talking about. Both players dip, unavoidable. Let's play. Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, that really flipping the script from Italy. They've struggled for ball, they have struggled for territory. But today, in a match where they were, some would say, underdogs, they have come out the traps with such confidence.
Bind!
And yet again, it is Scotland scrummaging with their heels on their own whitewash.
Okay. Okay, up again. Let's reset that. Okay, just keep the space here again. Okay, and high binds here, both sides. Okay, both at fault, let's go.
New head coach, Sione Fukafuka, said in the week, if we play to our potential, we are pretty confident. But we just haven't, Nolly, seen any of Scotland's game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe, you know, not today we haven't, and I think there's plenty of time, but I think looking at the stuff we saw against England, I think England's ruck speed just killed off Scotland. They just, it was, and I haven't seen an England perform like that against a team that, you know, they made Scotland look very poor at times, when actually they weren't, when you unpick the nitty-gritty of it. And against Wales, I think you actually saw some really good stuff in fits and starts. They're really energised when they've got the ball. They're getting into positions. They're just a little bit predictable, and probably some of their timing is off. But that's going to come when you've got new moves, you've got new plays, you've got a new way to attack, and you've got a significant proportion of players out injured that are your senior players that would normally take a new coach and new plays in their stride very easily, because they haven't got the nerves of wearing a Scotland shirt, so they haven't got to worry about that. They can just worry about what their new coach is asking of them. Well,
the absentees due to injury, including Evie Gallagher, Anne Young, Sarah Bonner, Lisa Thompson, Emma Orr, Evie Wills, Rachel Malcolm, Emily Kubra, Rona Lloyd. It's practically a starting 15, but here is Scotland's 15. Having to check her stride there was Shona Campbell, but she's got more than enough mischief in those boots to make good on it. Up to the 10 now. Here's the captain, Skeldon. Big shot on Cunningham. That did not look fun, and she stayed down for a moment. Wassel, one of the real leaders in this group, and here's another one, Nelson. She's so slippery.
Tackle.
Gets her knees down, and then the rest of her. Cunningham's receiving a bit of attention over on that far side, and Duca is making it hurt yet more for the Scots.
Thanks, Owen. Okay.
Yeah, this will be concerning for Scotland.
Yeah.
Cunningham is a really big asset in terms of what she does at set piece, the physicality that she has, the experience as a rugby player, not necessarily having loads of time in a Scotland shirt, but
Okay. Yeah.
Having lost Rachel Malcolm early.
Yeah, I'll come to your side now. Okay, as long as
bringing
you
in the younger
stay on your
player
side,
onto
yeah.
the bench.
Stay square, keep a good bind, high bind,
You
and
want
don't
to
get
have
your feet
those
too long,
experienced
okay?
players, but
Yeah, okay, thank you.
there she gets smashed.
Just the 4 caps for Scotland, gaining her 5th today, Holly Cunningham, but she's a centurion for Bristol Bears. She's played plenty of top-draw knockout rugby. Was in England under 20 and in and around a couple of Simon Middleton camps too under his tenure. She's a seriously useful operator, as you say.
Yeah, she's just one of those workhorse second rows that doesn't get the plaudits probably that she deserves publicly, but within her own units, within her own squads.
Thank you.
You know, a squad that she's playing for is very, very valued.
It's
good to see her get up and about. It's going to take quite a bit to get these Scottish girls off the field, I think.
Stay square,
played
please.
some pretty towering minutes, Molly.
Bind high.
27 players used so far by Scotland, but all of those changes, all of those alterations have been injury enforced.
Okay, space here.
Yeah, but sometimes when that happens, I think you obviously see a change because it has to happen, but that change might have happened anyway. From a performance point of view in training or just a rotation. You know, you look at the names that you've listed off. Those players, you know, some of those players are going to be putting their hand up potentially next year for a Lions share or an opportunity to get in the mix. They are fantastic players, world class. You know, a lot of the stuff that they do. There's a big ask for this Scottish team to be playing without them.
Tackle release.
Scott.
Tackle complete. And stripped after.
Showed us a little bit of what she might offer in that 13 channel, the deft distribution of someone who started out as a fly half. Scotland coming up with the penalty. And this an opportunity for Meryl Smith to maybe get them close to a first 22 entry of the match.
Just Italy on the edge of this 5-0 zone.
She's done exactly that.
Here's your mark. Thank you.
Yeah, she has offered a really great kicking variety off her boot. I don't think, you know, against England she mishit a lot of the kicks to touch, but you know, that's a decent attacking opportunity now.
Wassell, 75th cap this afternoon, brings that one down safely.
Yes.
And Scotland finally find themselves with a bit of possession and a bit of a head of steam in exactly the right part of the field, and the advantage to flex. Smith screaming for it. Nelson on the wraparound. Sillery looking to apply pressure, and it's an awkward bouncing ball for Fran McGee. Mutso well aware of the threat that McGee poses, so quick to snuff that one out. McGee returning from a long layoff with an injured shoulder just last week against England, her first rugby since November. Wassell brings Scotland back up towards the 22. Scott now. Lovely line. Real pace from Cunningham. Italy still going poaching at every breakdown.
No coming. Yeah. So 7 creates a speed bump on the floor, slows down the maul, okay? She goes to the floor and creates a speed bump.
There's an interesting decision to be made here for Scotland.
I thought you were saying interesting explanation. Creates a speed bump. I mean, what forwards do is crazy, isn't it? Speed bump with potentially 8 sets of boots running over you. Back rows don't care, do they?
Much nicer up here in the shade, isn't it, Nolly, not having to be involved in any of that. So, Smith has done her job. She can stride back into that midfield and let Skeldon and co do theirs. Looking for their first points of this encounter. That looks promising. Oh, but Italy have done remarkably well. Huge shove back the way whence it came. Smith with the no-look tip on. That was daft. Italy a little bit narrow here. McGee is lurking on this far touchline, but for now, this is about the muscle. Here's some more from Clark. Double shot. Medea goes low. Sillery goes hunting high. That's a maul. Italy might just have bagged themselves another turnover, and this would really hurt Scotland. They have.
That was a huge shot from Sillery. She's like a limpet around the ball.
6 turnovers for Italy inside 30 minutes. They have gone off like fireworks. They'll have the scrum. And they are just
So 2 knock-ons.
stringing
Pink
together
white. First
positives
pink, second blue.
in a way we haven't seen all year.
Yeah, they look really energised in the end
Good down
defence.
here, Zoe, I think.
I thought the sack at the line out was excellent.
Yeah, I agree.
Giordano putting her body on the line. This is the turnover. Look at her, the 13 wrapped around the ball. That's a tight head that's holding it.
Time off, Johnny.
But then what's great is she's joined by 3 other very, very strong blue shirts, and no surprise, Scorbini being one of them. I think Scotland just need a little bit more patience down there. Their carries look good. They got into position. They need to trust their formation, their structure. But at the moment, Italy just look more energised in defence and are making Scotland seem to question themselves.
It is fascinatingly the first time all championship that Italy have led a match. It was 5-0 at the break against France.
Sorry?
Before Les Bleus came out,
I agree.
just as energised as Italy are today, and absolutely demolished them in the second 40. And their first half against Ireland was frankly woeful in Galway.
Yeah, okay.
45 points to 10 they headed in at the interval. So the psychology of this is really intriguing. They're not accustomed to leading test matches.
But this is their first game back at home for a long, 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 long time. This is the biggest crowd they've probably had here.
Okay, time back on, Johnny.
I reckon actually up there with one of the highest. It would be great to get those numbers through soon. But in terms of their energy, I think their pack at the moment are really stepping up. They're creating a lot of pressure around the breakdown. Their chop tackle, they're getting someone to the floor very quickly. But that's also a lot easier when you've got front foot defence and you can read where the ball's going. And you know, the Scottish aren't currently asking too many questions.
Crouch! Bind!
Chance of Italia ringing out around the Sergio Lanfranchi. These women eager to join into this broader Azzurri wave of rugby positivity. And here's Alyssa De Inca with just out-and-out gas, finding Medea, who kept that support line going for 30, 40 hard-earned yards. Giordano to the breakdown. Look at the flurry of blue jerseys. They've gone half the length of Parma. Zanette over the top of it. She got her back to self a brace. Well, Vittoria Zanette, remember the name, believe the hype. She's got 10 points in half an hour.
And the biggest smile to go with it. What's brilliant is her set piece gave them the platform. The check and go from Dinka made a very good defender look and sit on her heels. But it's the follow-up for me. It's the fact that they flood the channels. Look at the strength and the carry. They're not waiting around at the base for the Scottish defence to get organised. Just steamrolled it away over.
Very mindful of the shot clock this time, but still the flags stay down.
Yeah, it's a brilliant set piece, wasn't it? From the Italians, they got punished against the Irish with those centre field scrums. But because they're making the Scots work, it meant that Donaldson couldn't get off of that blind side, which allowed Stefan, the scrum half, to get on the edge. And then it was literally 2-on-1, 2-on-1. And Dinka showing some pretty fast feet to get in behind and flood support.
It's a spiralling restart. Well claimed by Duca. Here's Medea. Turani. Medea once more. Oh, just juggled. Lands with Cunningham, who bumps off Giordano, but the athlete they call Polipo, the octopus, the captain, is straight back into that defensive line to make the second tackle. Smith now ghosting through Nelson. There's 3 of them out in that wide channel. Scott picking out Campbell. Venom in that pass out from Brebner Holden. It is a bullet of a thing. Look at it go. And it's accurate too, 97% so far this term. Brebner Holden once more. Smith. Nelson keeping Sillery honest. Oh,
backwards.
Just knocked backwards. But Manini has it. Muzzo's there in support.
It was an unbelievable offload from Manini to Muzzo.
She is something special, the young Italian, number 12.
Blue. Okay. Thanks, Emily.
Oh, some pretty harem-scarum stuff. Even the backs have got hands on heads because it's brutal, the heat out there. They'll be thrilled this scrum is in the shade.
Again, the breakdown getting super scrappy. Manini with the pickup, and look at this. The control from the centre and the flood support as well from Muzzo.
And then blue. Okay, strip forward.
Just look super confident, don't they?
So it'll be your scrum.
Ripping into it.
I spoke to Francesca Granzotto in the week, who's wearing 23 for the Italians today, and she spoke so passionately, Molly, about how they want to show what they're capable of. This Italian group, their performance ceiling is so much higher than anything we've seen so far this campaign, and like you said, perhaps home advantage was the catalyst they needed.
Well, I agree. I've had the privilege of being able to go in and coach some of these girls, and I was phenomenally impressed with their skill set. Catch, pass, work rate. And I was really surprised that we haven't seen some of them coming out in their performances in an international shirt. We also see them perform in the PWR on a regular occurrence. You know, not just coming off the bench. They're regular starters performing very well in the best league in the world. So I think, you know, we are getting glimpses of some superb rugby. They're looking a little bit more organised and have a little bit more structure. But yeah, there's loads more to give from these girls. It's, I think, getting a coach that can also unpick it.
Set.
Giordano from the base. Stefan just sneaking through. Mischief in the eyes of Italy's little Centurion. Chloe Rowley had no right to get back and cover there. Fabulous from the Scottish fullback, but there are waves beating on that thistled shore hard now, and Italy can sense the try bonus point just after the half-hour mark. Round the corner they come. As Yuri jerseys before packed out stands here at the Sergio Lanfranchi at Sillery to within 4 metres. Desperate stuff from Helen Nelson now.
Use it.
Listen to the chants. Feel the ferocity out there. Here comes Scorbini with the latches Tirani still going. Scorbini to within a matter of inches. Stefan delays the pass. Madia over the top. Inca will have 2. Italy at their belligerent and sizzling best.
That was a world-class pass from Madia to whip the ball off her left to Dinka. The setup play, yes. The line break from Sofia Stefan. I think she was surprised she bust through. She needed to give the pass to Manini, whether she didn't look or didn't hear her support,
13.
but they were patient. They smashed their way over, but that pass, a double skip.
13. No.
Phenomenal.
Thank you. 20 seconds.
Well, it was Dinka who bagged the bonus point against Ireland in Galway last week. She's wrapped up another one before half-time here in Parma.
10.
And at last, the flags are raised. Michaela Sillery opens her account for the 2026 Guinness Women's Six Nations. And what a good decision it was for that young lady to pick herself up a ticket and come to this one.
Yeah, she's such an important player for the girls, but this pass, 12, 13 metres, whipped across the front of the defence. It's a phenomenal finish.
5 minutes remain of this first half. Scotland yet to really land a punch. But that a lovely take from Scott.
Back.
She's not the tallest, but she appeared to be on a
Back
trampoline there.
Sorry.
Knocked on through Clark. Do you think she might have regathered it?
Okay.
Oh, it's
okay,
a proper
it was
mess.
knocked on first then. Apologies.
Italy centre field scrum.
Nice time.
Well, it's everyone's favourite metric, Nolly, so let's take a look at this.
Very good now. Okay, standard is good, let's keep that. There's your mark.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Conversion from the Italians. You know, the fact that the Scots haven't even, you know, they've had 3 entries, no points, but the Italians, they've also done it in various ways. They've kicked the ball in and they've gone from line out, pick and go, they've run it in, and they've built phases there. So
Crouch.
I think, you know, it's been an impressive attacking set from them.
Point!
Well, they've doubled their red zone return from the previous
Set.
2 rounds. It was below 2 points per entry against France, against Ireland.
No, knocked on into her leg. It was knocked on into her leg.
But it only takes a momentary lapse of
It was knocked
concentration
on
for
into
something
her leg,
like that to
and then you
happen.
caught it.
Oh, let's have a super slow-mo. Oh, I do agree with the referee. I think she used her back rower's leg to hefty hamstring to keep it alive.
There you go.
So Italy, as things stand, very much in the driver's seat in their quest for a first victory of
Crouch.
the campaign. They'll host England next on the other side of the fallow week before they head
Point.
to the Cardiff Arms Park at a game they really targeted
Set.
against the
Steady.
Welsh. Scotland host France next before they head to the Aviva, to the Emerald Isle, to take on Scott Beeman's Ireland. Can they sign off with a flourish in this first half? Can they end with something to put a bit of pep in the steps as they head back down the tunnel at the Sergio Lanfranchi? Rachel McLaughlin's clear out. Smith, Clark.
Tackle release.
Skeldon doing what she
First
can,
player.
and also Demi Swan on her first start. But Italy back themselves a sick turnover.
Yep.
It's great work, isn't it, from Giordano? Patient. It's actually Clark that was unlucky because she bust through and got herself isolated by the extra little piece of work that she did. Scott's just not clicking. We're seeing Meryl Smith, who's got excellent skills. A lot of her passes are hitting the hip of the ball carrier on the forwards. Whether they're overrunning, they're not quite getting their timing right, or whether it's pulling her,
Take
but
the
they're
edge,
just
yeah, edge of that line.
they're making it a lot easier for the Italian defence because they're constantly having to check their run.
Again, Manini with the line kicking, gobbling up some precious, precious metres. Zanetti will throw from shade to sun and back to shade again, and at the tail it's Ranuccini, the gymnast turned back rower. Stefan, oh, it's set-piece perfection from the Italians. And Aura Muzzo leaving scorched blades of Italian grass behind her as she cleaves beneath the sticks. And Italy at the stroke of half-time have their 5th.
That was a classy set-piece move. I was looking at Maddie thinking, why are you not in position? It's your ball. But it was her late run and that inside pop. Often we see the winger just slightly overrun it, but the timing was perfect.
Okay.
The finish was phenomenal. And the celebration from the team and the crowd, all worthy of potentially 7 more points.
Where have this lot been for the last fortnight? Italy entertaining us something rotten. Scotland beneath those sticks with so much to ponder. 29 up, courtesy of Michaela Sillery. And Mutso, who was player of the match in this one a year ago, is back, causing Scottish torment.
It's wonderful work, isn't it? The line-out functioned well. There was good interlinking play with Scorbini and Stefan, but it's Medea, the timing, the no-look. She drags Helen Nelson out of the position, and it's that gap, it's that seam that Mutso slinks her way through, and then a cheeky little step as well to finish off.
The clock's gone red, and perhaps, unsurprisingly, Italy decide that will do very nicely for a first 40 in which they have been as unrecognisable as they have been mesmeric. 5 tries for the Azzurri, 3 from wingers, 2 from their young tight-head Tyro, and a pair of conversions from Michaela Sillery means that. And I don't think any of you saw this coming. It is currently the Azzurri who have it at half-time here in round 3 of the Women's Six Nations by 29 points to an incredible 0.
Scotland onside.
Welcome back to Parma in the north of Italy, specifically the Sergio Lanfranchi Stadium, which we reckon, Nolly Waterman and I, is currently boasting one of the biggest crowds that this place has ever seen for a women's international. The atmosphere is rocking, and why wouldn't it be? Because the Azzurri, who had been languishing down in 6th in the standings of the Women's Six Nations, have flown from the traps in their first home outing of the campaign, putting 5 quite literally unanswered scores on Scotland. 2 from Melissa De Inca, 2 from Vittoria Zanette, and 1 from Aura Muzzo, the cherry on the cake. I'm going to start by speaking about the visitors, because what, Nolly, do you think Rachel Malcolm, injured, a last-minute withdrawal, and watching on from the sidelines, will have said at half-time?
Well, looking at her now, she's a bit punching her arm. I think she probably would have been reasonably calm with the girls, but at the same time, there would have been no shortage of Scottish passion. But she knows that this team will have it in them. They'll be incredibly frustrated themselves, and yeah, very uncharacteristic in how lacking they've been in their energy. But I'm sure she would have got stuck in and you know, tried to give them their confidence.
Make sure they stay on side, okay? Onside.
A difficult first 40 for the visitors. One of dreams for the hosts, who will get us underway via Veronica Madeira, who was instrumental in so much of what was good in that first half performance. And we're back underway in front of a crowd of 4,787. We are almost at capacity here.
Wingers on.
Gorgeous conditions. Long shadows now. Vittoria Ostuni-Manuzzi, who scored an absolute wonder try against the Irish in Galway last week. More metres per carry than anyone else in the Six Nations. Hard to believe she's just 24 still. Little floated pass there from Madeira right on the 10-metre line onto Scorbini, who has been omnipresent as ever. Ostuni-Manuzzi. Duca having a gallop in the sunshine. Giordana Duca stretching telescopic limbs and up to 8 metres now. Stefan reloading swiftly. Sillery there on the veteran's shoulder. Italy going off like firecrackers at the start of the second passage of play. Fedrighi at the base of all of that. Out wide, Sillery. Oh, has she just spilt it?
In.
Aura Muzzo with the try line at her mercy.
Yeah, disappointing to not see that finished. But brilliant work shifting into the space. Big second row with the dummy and the fend. There was just one angle she was running, wasn't there, down that line? But oh, did she take her eyes off the ball because she saw the try line beckoning? But that would have been a real sucker punch to the Scottish if they had got that try.
Okay, and we don't need to. Okay, in between the 15 and the 5. On the 5 metre. Okay. So we have head-on-head contact. Okay, it's a penalty only. Okay, but the penalty's going to be here. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
I think it's potentially during the clear out. You can see Sillery holding her head. She's got a big egg on that forehead.
Just wait. Just wait. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Time off. We're just making a sub here.
So it's Rachel McLaughlin.
It's Holly Cunningham, isn't it? McLaughlin gets.
Thanks, Dan.
I think she gets injured pre-contact, but it's Cunningham coming in dead upright.
She's in floods of tears, the Montpellier forwards. Due to start at open side today, but she's been scooched to the base in the absence of Rachel Malcolm, and Scotland are forced to make yet another change straight into defensive detail. Fedrighi, the volleyball convert, the recipient of that one, and Italy's maul gets to work once more. They've used their forwards as a devastating platform today, and Manini is over, but maybe just wrestled back. And we think there's been a nasty
No
head
foul
knock
play
in
here
the
now.
midst of all of that.
And it's knocked on by blue, I believe.
Al 42esimo la Scozia effettua una sostituzione, esce il numero 8 Rachel
Now
McLachlan,
Smith has stayed down.
al suo posto il numero 21 Becky Boyd.
Looked like Stewart had come in to join the collision.
Maybe a screw. Sorry?
And as
No,
the
it's no foul
collision
play.
happened,
Yeah.
rolled into
And it's knocked
her.
on at the base of the ruck by your player, so it'll be their scrum. Their scrum. Yes, yeah, time is off.
Two significant knocks to players.
So all of a sudden, Sione Fukafuka has to decide how to deploy his bench, because he's already entirely reshuffled his back row this afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
Alex Stewart and Rachel McLaughlin leaving the field within 60 seconds of one another. Things go from bad to worse for the Scots.
It's incredibly difficult, isn't it, to see players leave the field, and it's a huge blow to the Scottish team, but
Yes, she's coming off now.
when the pressure is on, and this is an opportunity for more players to step up, more opportunity, they get plenty of game time, and missing senior players. Lana Skeldon at captain is really going to have to galvanise this team, but
This is going to be your scrum, okay?
got the likes of Emma Wassell, Helen Nelson that I'm sure will be helping out.
Well, we talked
Okay, time on.
about opportunity, and you just mentioned it there, Nolly. So on come two of Scotland's
And you take
youngest cavalry, as
Same from
Rachel
the first
Malcolm
half. Space, thank you.
stony-faced watches on. Holland Bogan is on wearing number 19. She's the HIA replacement. And then on for Rachel McLaughlin, which was an injury replacement, is young
Square
Becky
here.
Boyd,
Square.
earning just her fourth cap, the Loughborough Lightning lock
Crouch.
flanker. So all change once again for Scotland.
Point.
Yet to score a point in this round 3 clash, and reeling
Set.
still, you wonder, from that 84-7 dispatching by the English. Smith from deep. The Bristol Bear. Back inside after 14 months out with an ACL. And Nelson will have hoped for a little more distance on that.
She got a good connection, but I think it was just the angle, unfortunately.
Scotland
Just
on the
didn't
edge.
get the distance. I definitely agree. I think playing England last week, the physical toll that takes, but also the emotional toll of the experience that they had at the home of Scottish rugby.
Access.
Vecchini to Federighi. And once again, the Italian maul
Advantage
starts
for
to
us.
motor, but this one looks particularly potent, and this one will go the distance. It's punishing stuff from the Italians. They have 6 through Vittorio Vecchini, and Scotland are down flat on the canvas right about now.
It's a good set piece from the Italians, obviously with penalty advantage. It did look like they'd broken away, and she had a player in front of her, but
Nice time.
referee said play on. They have struggled at set piece, particularly the line out, the consistency, but they seem to have got it back. Control there. Does look like that maul have broken up because there's an extra person joining.
That one's pulled wide off the boot of Sillery, but unless something very drastic changes very soon, Italy are marching towards a bonus point victory, which would be their first home victory in their first home game of the campaign in over a decade. They always struggle. The first game, back in front of their fans, they find the pressure too much. They've not got the form, they've not got the wind in their sails, but it's been 12 years since they managed it, and they are very much on track to do so today. Contestable from Stefan Rolly. reading that to perfection. There are names in this Scottish side that we just haven't said yet. Eva Donaldson is out there. Hardly mentioned Fran McGee. Smith with a pass that doesn't find Campbell, and that is Scotland's afternoon in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's disappointing. They've done the hard work on the inside. They'd sucked in the edge defender. Campbell was away. Been impressed with Campbell. She hasn't had much opportunity over the last 3 games, but she's real sprightly. She's a little power pack of a player. Obviously spent a lot of time in the sevens, but heartbreak around the Olympics, and now to see her get a shot of 15, she's really obviously relishing that. You know, obviously on the receiving end of a pass that she couldn't keep hold of there, but
okay, here's the mark.
Yeah, she's a young star coming through.
Leah Bartlett is on to corner a Scottish scrum that will go the distance without Alex Stewart, who failed her head injury assessment. So get well soon, Alex.
Crouch.
That means that Becky Boyd will be with us for good. So too, Holland Bogan.
Bind. Set.
It's a young Scottish side. Rachel Malcolm said with a wry smile before this tournament begun, we know it won't be plain sailing.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah, okay, hang on a second. Hi. Yep. Yes, yeah. Now I need you setting up square, okay? Square, please. And same from you, okay? You're just on. Okay, well then set up to the left of the mark. Yeah, okay, so you're both set up on the line. You set to the left. Gives you space, you stay square. Thank you.
So Clark, Skeldon and Bartlett, the Scotland
square, please.
Row now. Unchanged for the Italians still. Turani, Vecchini, Zanette.
Crouch!
Whose name is up in lights today.
Injured setup. You've got Dinker just behind the scrum.
Bind!
Loitering with intent.
Set!
Madia, flick of the wrists. Manini now out wide to Mutso. That's a lovely pass, and look at the former gymnast get to work on that far touchline. Stefan. Madia once more. Turani with fingertips covered in Velcro. Stefan spots a little bit of unoccupied prairie, and it's a dribbling one for Campbell. There she is, the live wire, the touch international, the netball international. Seven Supremo. Smith on now to Clark. No one has more turnovers this championship than Eliane Clark, who stayed down. Back up to her feet, she rises in time to watch Fran McGee splattered.
Okay.
Wassel,
advantage.
The dummy runner, but cross lines of communication.
Time off then. Time off. Okay, so Dan, we're going to come up to you on this. Okay.
Possible trip potentially from Madia.
You're just going to show me a trip by Italy number 10.
Yeah, are you at the screen?
I'm at the screen now, yeah.
Yeah, first angle coming for you now.
So this is the voice of Dan Jones, who's our TMO today.
Yeah, I don't need to see any more, Dan.
Okay, no problem.
I have a decision.
Okay, it's coming back to you now, bear with. Back on you, Robbie.
I have a decision then, yeah. Okay, so we have a clear trip by Italy number 10, excuse me. She's going to go to the bin, and it's going to be a penalty just over here.
100% agree. I have
yellow card only. We don't have to review.
Such a shame. Madia has been phenomenal this game. Why on earth she would stick her foot out to trip the player? The defence was coming across, yes, from Cheska McGee, got on the outside, but...
Okay.
Bizarre.
Just here. Number 3, we're going to go.
And something that you just don't see in rugby, you shouldn't see in rugby. You see how McGee's ankle buckles. Disappointing.
Smith makes another 15 metres or so, and right into that line-out set-up.
Hang on a sec. Number 3.
Will be Alessia Pillani, the Stade Bordelais tight head, back-to-back Elite Arm Championships with the French team. And just listen to this for a moment.
Come on.
That is probably the loudest cheer of the day, and it is for Vittoria Zanetti, whose first start couldn't really have gone better. It's going to take something pretty meaty to get that jersey off her. Brebner Holden onto McGee. Boyd with a big shove on Giordano, who's clutching at her face.
Hang on a second, we just have 2 injured players here.
Yeah, it looks like face on face, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
potentially we'll need to check it.
Okay. Time's off then.
Let me know when you're at the screen.
Okay, Dan. Going to come up to you on this then. TMO check. You're going to show me an upright tackle by number 8 blue, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, I'll let you know on the screen.
Well, we haven't heard from Dan Jones all afternoon, and suddenly he is a very busy man.
I think it looked like Giordano just got her
Okay,
feet
let's
underneath
stay
her,
here, Dan.
too close to the defender, and
Yeah, coming to you now.
yeah, face on face.
It's Becky Boyd with one of those ballistic carries that we see so often from her for Loughborough Lightning in
Fair
the
play,
English
she's
Premiership.
Upright in the tackle. She can be lower. Yellow card threshold. Yeah. Would you agree with those facts, Dan?
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, you can come back to me then. I have a decision.
Yeah, coming back to you now, bear with. Back on you.
Okay, we do have head contact. It's foul play. Number 8 is upright in the tackle. She has to be lower, so she's at fault. It needs the yellow card threshold, so we'll go for an off-field review. Number 8.
Yeah, 100% agree with the yellow card. I think they probably won't get
Okay, so whatever sub
it
comes on, she can't
progressed
come back
to
on.
a red. It's actually a great carry from Boyd,
So
but she
cancel the
checks
sub.
back in. It
Ace
looks
is the
like
place in yellow card.
Giordano
Yeah.
doesn't think she's carrying into a channel.
So 8's been yellow. We can't sub her. Yes, but she's been yellow carded, so this player has to leave. Hang on. Just wait. Yeah. So you came on for number 8. She's been yellow carded, so we can't make that sub. Yeah.
So Italy, given that it was a head injury assessment for Elisa Giordano,
it's
we're
just
trying to
midfield
make a
now, correct?
substitution, which means that poor Margherita Tonelotto, that would have been her debut, and it's been quite an inauspicious 11 seconds of it. Don't worry, Margherita. We'll hopefully see you again in a little bit, and you'll get a bit more international
I tackle
rugby.
number 8.
Incredibly cheerful.
Well, her rugby hero growing up was Elisa Giordano, so replacing her in the test match arena is pretty
Okay,
magical,
Italy on the line.
even if it makes Elisa feel rather old. So, Scotland with a chance to exhale deeply, wipe the slate clean. They're playing against 13 Italian women for the next 10 minutes, and they're back into the 22 for the first time in this second half. Italy are missing their captain and number 8 and their fly half. Surely Scotland, if not now today, then when?
Advantage collapse, 7.
Now they've got the free hit. Now they can
Advantage
afford to
9.
spin it wide. It's out the back. No look from Smith. Whipped onto Rulli. On now to Campbell. Look at the covering defence. If Vittoria Ostuni-Manuzzi has just saved a try
Okay,
there, that is a quite extraordinary feat.
Phenomenal tackle, but I actually think
your
she
players away,
threw
guys.
her into the field of play and she bounced off. I think that might be a try.
Just take your players back for a second.
But the passing from the Scottish,
Okay, Zoe.
brilliant
I
work
actually
from
don't know if she's
Nelson.
grounded it just before the line, or sorry, in goal. Check touch and grounding. Okay. Dan, I'm going to come to you on this then. On-field decision is, we don't have a decision, so checking checking touch and then checking grounding.
Yeah, no worries. We're checking touch and then checking grounding.
Yeah.
Coming with you now. Out.
Yeah, definitely. That her leg hit the line, didn't it, before the
Kind of
ball?
advantage against number 7 for collapse anyway.
Ostuni-Manuzzi take a bow.
Sorry? Yeah.
She's done a lot of work in attack, especially in the last 2 games. She's the highest carrier, but in attack, but defensively,
angles, bear with you, it's close.
Okay.
the technique of that tackle was exactly what she needed to do. Wrap and roll.
Yeah, I have a decision for you, Robbie.
Okay.
She is not in touch, but the ball is grounded on the dead in ball line, so no try.
Okay. So it's no try.
She scores them, she saves them, or Stony Minuti with an involvement worth at least 5 points.
That was absolutely brilliant. I think the handling from the Scottish was superb, from Nelson to Rolly, and then to Campbell. But the determination from a very shortened Italian defence. That's excellent.
7, collapse. Yeah, just there.
They are hungry today. As Francesca Granzotto said in the week, we never give up. Not on even seemingly lost causes, and you can see the frustration on Smith's face there. But that would have delighted Francesco Iannuccini. He's their defensive coach, who's, on all accounts, been drilling them pretty hard. The second roll of the dice, it's Donaldson, the sail shark, hoisted high into Palmer skies. Once again, Scotland with the free hit.
Early on the lifter and then collapse. Early on the lifter and then collapse. Yes, you can, yeah, you can.
And this is probably where they miss Rachel Malcolm. There is 100% there. She would be at the referee saying, come on, this is the second opportunity for us to score that they've got given a penalty. You have to give them a warning. It didn't happen.
Lather, rinse, repeat. Skeldon finds Donaldson. And here come Scotland. Perhaps at long last it's time for them to flex some sizable muscles of their own. Unthinkable that they wouldn't score. Here we go. Advantage Scotland. Round they come and over they go.
Nice, Andy.
And Emma Wassell's face bleeding pure relief.
It's great set piece, simple stuff done really well, executed. They took their time. The Italians gave them a big old shove. But instead of splintering, they actually got tighter. You could see the Scottish squeeze as a unit. Holly Cunningham rolling out and then using her strength to push over her captain for today.
It's okay.
Lana Skeldon, who was player of the match here 2 years ago when Scotland notched their first win on Italian soil in the Women's Six Nations. Helen Nelson was picking up player of the match gongs in Cardiff 2 weeks ago at the Principality. 4 from 5 that day. One from one, and beautifully done today. Scotland on the board.
Okay, time off. Captain. Who's your captain? Captain. Are you the captain for the moment? Okay, so we have a decision from the bunker. The yellow card will remain a yellow card because it's passive in nature, okay? So it remains a yellow card. Thank you. Come back on.
Yeah, a big carry from Boyd, but you can see head on head clearly, but it's super passive.
Inside.
Rolly's only little, but she's got a massive beat on her. The gentler effort in return from Stefan, and the unforced error with it.
Yeah, frustrating error, isn't it? Just lose 7 points on the board, and you compound it with an error.
6 minutes left on the double yellow card, which is what Giordano's will remain. So Skeldon, try scorer, captain. What a lot of responsibility rests on those broad shoulders today. And that is a howler of a line out from Scotland. And also flailing. Bogan in at first receiver.
No, no, no! Second go.
Bartlett back on to Nelson, out wide to Campbell, who had no room to work with there. So wisely heads back in field. Wassell. And the ultimate Scottish warriors, one of the heartbeats of this side. Here's another one in Nelson. Scott now arcing round. Rolly's there. She's got McGee behind her, but she's going to carry hard. Place it backwards. Lovely platform here. Skeldon, Nelson, Smith with options, but that might have been a little bit overrun. So she pops it onto the boot, finding Campbell. Scottish tails up a little bit now. Just starting to believe, you feel, but they'll need to get back into shape here.
Use it.
25 minutes remain here at the Sergio Lanfranchi. Plenty of time for them to first up get that try bonus point. It was one try bonus point that separated them at the end of round 5. Italy and Scotland. These things matter. Rolly, one-handed gather from Scott, who scored a peach at the Principality 2 weeks ago. Boyd now. Scotland starting to string together phases, which we haven't been able to say so far today. Smith through the elbow of Donaldson. Campbell there to hoover things up, and Smith on all fours.
12 on 12. That was an absolutely huge hit from Manini.
Hands from Boyd. I mean, this from Scotland has descended into gentle chaos, but they are playing against 13, so there are opportunities there if they can just work to them. Donaldson, selected for this very reason, to be a threat in the outside channels, Fuka said. But this is leg-sapping stuff from Scotland, and they're going precisely nowhere.
It's excellent defence from the Italians, wasn't it? It looks like the Scots had finally got momentum. It's the first time you've seen the outside backs hit the ball at pace, in space.
Okay. Leave it with
but
me,
then it was getting all congested. It seems like they want to move it to the edge far too quickly. You know, they're getting the ball to Campbell, but she's got zero room to move in. But although they're looking at it disjointed, you've got to credit the Italian defence, their energy, and some of the shots, particularly from Manini, completely leathered Smith. That's an absolute rib tickler.
Tom off. Okay, come on, John.
Near identical in terms of volume of work, but when you look at quality Nolly, the turnovers they're coming up with, the dominant shots, which we've known for a while is an Italian specialty. Manini from defence into attack. Scorbini is there. And they course around that same side. Vecchini. That half-back combination of Stefan and Madia has been splintered by the yellow card, so Manini doing a lot of the distribution in the midfield
Use
now.
it. Yeah, stay inside.
Italy affecting that turnover, remember, with 13 women on the field.
And without their fly half, which is huge in terms of organisation and structure.
Federighi, all 5'11" of her. Duca, Turani, Vecchini.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. Okay, no advantage, lost forward by pink first.
And there are changes coming for the Italians.
Okay.
Gaia Maurice is onto the field, which means, Nolly, Silvia Turani has completed her 50th cap.
And what a woman she is. One of the best smiles in the PWR that we get to see on a regular basis over in England. But she is a phenomenal player for Italy. And just a phenomenal story getting into rugby. She was 21 years old when she started. She was actually studying in Spain, and she went to a party and she was chatting to some girls who were worried about missing this training for this sport, rugby, and she's so impressed by their commitment. She said, I want to come and join you. And she went to training. That weekend she played back to Italy, found a team, and the rest is history. She went to France, she has played at Exeter and is now a starting player at Queen's and a 50th cap for Italy. So I think phenomenal achievement and just a heart of gold for this Italian side.
placement has gone great guns in the scrum, because that's a fine platform for the Italians, who are coursing forwards now. Ranuccini with the latest bulldozing run. Here comes Duca. Scotland bailing frantically as Manini straightens and squirms, and still she thrashes onwards. Drums ringing out at the Sergio Lanfranchi as Italy go hunting for the score that would surely put this one to bed, and against all odds. 13 Italians on the field, playing as though there are hundreds. Maurice next to have a trundle.
Tackle!
Just short. Again they come, Federighi, Duca. Game, set, and match. Italy past the 40-point barrier with the kick, and Jordana Duca is scoring against the Scotland side, who have been carved to ribbons.
Every carry leading up to that try was phenomenal. Started by Scorbini, the leg drive, the power. The fact that she got the ball back and it was a quick presentation meant that the Scottish defence were all over the place. And the only person in front of her by the try line was the referee. Duca, great decision. And beer was being thrown all in the stadium, in the stands in front of us.
Well, Silvia Tirani can be forgiven for thinking that she's back at that house party. This place is rocking. They are loving what they're seeing. And the extras don't hurt for the Italians.
Yeah, they've looked physical, they've looked dominant, and, you know, this is a Scottish side with a lot of questions to answer after this performance, but you've got to take your hat off to these Italians. Every collision has got this firepower that potentially is coming from a very embarrassing match last week against Ireland. A second half against the French. They got venom and they're back at home with a huge crowd.
On a dime by Nelson, taken cleanly by Federighi. We'll talk to you about the Scotland changes that have just been made in a few moments' time. But first, let's just enjoy an Italian side with the sort of confidence we aren't used to seeing in those blue jerseys. Manini, Sillery, taken back over the shoulder by Ostuni Manussi. Denka searching for a hat-trick. Not on this occasion. Rolly was there with the ankle tap. Ranuccini managed to offload from the deck somehow. The ruck speed of the Italians is just turning the screw here in the Parma sunshine. Muzzo. Still going, Muzzo. Eventually, Lou McMillan, on and wearing Scottish fabric for the first time in almost 2 years, makes the tackle stick. Sillery. 41-7. 7 tries to 1 in a match that has been on as even in the last 4 years and decided by less than 8 points on average. Ranuccini. Stefan hurdling Donaldson, looking to unleash Ostuni Manuzzi. That's a little something to cheer about. Leah Bartlett coming up with the goods.
Yes, good work, isn't it, defensively from the Scots, biding their time. They were trying to get into the breakdowns. But the Italian defence was getting flatter and flatter, so the impact that they were having in terms of their carries was getting less and less, which actually then plays into defensive hands. And good technique. They didn't just chuck one pair of hands over, they put 2 over to make sure they got it. Both scrapping for it, weren't they?
She'll be on the line, yeah. Nine and 4. So, yeah.
Becky Boyd receiving a little bit of attention as another pair of changes are made by Fabio Roselli and
time off, we have an injury over there.
Alia Bitonci is on for Sofia Stefan at scrum half, and Alessandra Frangipani, she is on in the engine room.
Yeah, time is off, yeah.
Replacing Valeria Federighi, who's had some innings. A penny for that woman's thoughts.
Okay, come on then.
Skeldon, the most experienced Scot, all the way down that team sheet, finds one of the slightly newer caps in Donaldson. Bradna Holden, still going out there. I'm very happy for now to just watch this Thistles torpedo make its way up the field. A couple of pumps, and she finds Campbell. Skeldon takes route 101.
Knock on the tackle advantage.
Tackle, okay. Knock on. So Scotland with a scrum at worst here. And there's a carry from Rachel Phillips, newly introduced for just her second cap with the Sale Sharks centre. So many youngsters out in the field now for Scotland. This really is the ushering in of some newbies.
You can see Chloe Rolly's frustration, but there was a poor pass, and I think actually she'd run Campbell out of space. You got to credit the edge defence from the Italians. They're up and shifting across really well.
You have an option.
Especially when the Scots are shortening him in the centre.
Scrum or line out? Line out, okay.
Well, they've had 3 outside centres in 3 outings, Scotland, and 2 back threes. It's been all change. But that 9, 10, 12 spine has remained the same. And just not pulling the strings, as we've grown accustomed to today. Smith might well have been offside, that.
Advantage, playing the 9, part of the ruck.
But the Italians have their penalty anyway. Alia Bitonci, the Moscow-born scrum half. Here she comes now. Trained in ballet, did Bitonci, much like Fran McGee, and you can really see it in her dainty footwork. Madia now, back onto the field. We've got 15 against 15 once more.
No advantage.
Claimed by Campbell.
21 part of the ruck, playing the 9. No.
So it's Sara Manini once more, tasked with getting this as far upfield as she possibly can, the 20-year-old. Was the Serie A season's MVP, despite playing for a struggling Colorno side. She has been leading the charge today for the Italians.
Take the line.
Who finally, for real this time, might be about to unleash Margherita Tonnellotto.
6. Yeah, but 6 sub.
And here she comes, wearing 20 in that distinctive wasp-coloured scrum cap. Azzurri number 226.
14.
Player of the series for Italy under 20s level.
13
when the
or
summer
14?
series came to Parma in 2024.
Okay.
They've also introduced Emma Stevanin, who will head in at fly-half for Veronica Madia, and Francesca Granzotto is on for Aura Muzzo, wearing 23, the young Exeter Chiefs fullback.
Al 66esimo l'Italia effettua 2 sostituzioni.
Bitonci delays that one. Manini flat to the point of being forward.
Okay, leave it there then.
And that's what they love Holland Bogan for, the big roar, the big celebration from the young Scot.
Yeah, I think it's really important for the Scots, isn't it, to take as much as they can from this game. You know, there's still 14-ish minutes.
Okay, let's go.
And there's a huge amount of pride in the women that are wearing purple. So I think, you know, celebrating the small wins, making sure that they're playing in the areas of the field that they want to, is huge going into a well-earned break. You know, 3 matches on the bounce is a tough ask. I'm sure they will enjoy having some time away to reflect, to recover, to recuperate. But yeah, they got a big 13-odd minutes now to leave this field in a positive place.
Advantage.
Pride, momentum, points
Right,
difference. There's a lot that they can take, and that's before we even start thinking about bonus points. They did have themselves a penalty off the scrum.
Tight head to knee and collapse.
Well, the hosting of France before the tournament, Captain Rachel Malcolm described as a gettable scalp, which might well have felt possible after the win in Cardiff, but after the last couple of weeks, Nolly, Scotland are going to have to find something we haven't seen for a little while.
Yeah, I think it will be a big ask. I think, you know, I'm sure Rachel Malcolm will be hoping to get back on the field. She has been training, just not quite at test level with her knee strapped up, but I think the break has come at a really good time for them. I think Scotland, I think France are definitely a beatable team. You know, I'm actually still, even away from home, I'm calling potentially an Irish win this evening. You know, the French haven't got going really in the way that we had. Obviously, the results show differently, but yeah, there's still a lot to scratch their heads about this performance, I'm sure.
Finally claimed 11th line out.
No, don't change.
Both of those set pieces, immaculate, Italian and Scottish. Real improvement from the two of them. Here comes Phillips.
Tackle release.
Whose rugby has taken her from Biggar to Edinburgh Uni to Watsonians, back to Edinburgh and now to Salford. One of 4 Sharks in Scotland's 23 today, in fact. Fran McGee picked out by Smith with 1 to beat. Beats her, but Granzotto had come hurtling back in defence. Italy's cover defence today won't hit the headlines, but it has been outstanding. Brebner Holden on now to Nelson. Scotland with front foot ball and a little bit of room to flex. Donaldson with a 2v1, but couldn't find Campbell on her shoulder.
Off feet.
10 metres from a second score that they are thirsting for. 10 minutes to play. Italy would love dearly to hold Scotland out yet again. They have been so frustrating to play against, and that from Stevenine, a brilliant shot. Took the legs right out from under Merrill Smith. Still though, Scotland play.
18, first player in.
And rising from the wreckage is the towering Pilani. Ranuccini had a hand in it as well. It has been a free pass for Italy on the deck today.
Yeah, they've really stood up physically, haven't they? They've been tackling
12.
the Scots, but
back
the
here,
attack for Scotland has been really staccato. It hasn't looked like, you know, the moments that we've seen against different teams when they have scored. You know, against the English, when they shifted it and they looked quick and they moved, the handling was fantastic. We saw a superb try against the Welsh, but just hasn't worked.
Number 2. Yeah. Number 2.
These big dominant tackles from the Italians have been superb, but it's really invited those turnovers in at the Jackal, isn't it?
Fabio Rosselli, with the luxury of a 34-point bumper, can empty his bench of nippers. Vecchini is off. Chiara Kelly is on. Paul Chiara Kelly, who is one of the youngsters in the squad, has to look after an egg at all times and produce it whenever called upon.
No.
Just seeing Vecchini coming over, coming off the field.
Yeah.
Big round of applause for her. I've been really impressed with her today. I think her set piece has been brilliant, and she's done a lot of work around the field. 13 tackles, 4 carries. You know, the unseen work. The Jackalers have got the ball, but probably she's one of those ones that have been chopping them down.
But yes, the thought for...
Tom off. Just have an injury here.
For Chiara Kelly.
Yeah.
And Scotland will be wondering what they did to deserve this.
It's clear there for me, Dan.
Sam Owassel, who doesn't go down easy and certainly doesn't stay down easy. There's a look of grim resignation on Rachel Malcolm's face before our commentary gantry. She's watching on, unable to sit still.
Okay.
Emma Wassel, who is hard as nails, absolutely.
So we do have a penalty. It's head on head, but glancing
reeled off.
similar to down there. It's can be a penalty
54
here.
straight test matches.
Nice, Sam.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal woman, and you know she's quite
9.
lightweight for a second row, but she puts her body
9.
on the line time and time again. Huge
9.
personality in the team, and I love that. And I love the fact that her team
9.
got around her.
It's going to be a penalty, okay?
And really
It's your penalty
supported
here.
her through some incredibly tough times, and out on the field
High tackle.
again. That shot to the throat, gets up. I'm all right.
It's a good point. If you've been living under a rock and you're not
Oh, no,
familiar
you're
with
honest.
Emma
You're honest there.
Wassell's
Yeah,
last
yeah, yeah.
couple of years, she lost her mother, Pauline, and then had to have a sternotomy, a 27-centimetre cut made down her sternum to remove a tumour that was discovered there. She made it back in time for her second World Cup, and it's such a powerful story that they've only got and made a wonderful documentary about it called Lugh, which is the Gaelic word for warrior. Go and seek it out if you've the time. So, 8 minutes remain.
Okay, advantage. Knock on.
Scrum advantage for the home side. A home side who are about to seal a first win in an awfully long time. Bitonci will kick this one.
Okay, which number? Advantage over. Okay.
Picking out McGee, who's so well enveloped by Granzotto. Driving that line speed, just as she does
She on
at
pitch or
Exeter
does she go
Chiefs
off?
in the Premiership.
Okay. Hang on a sec. We've a HIA check for you. Okay, sorry, I thought you went off. Okay. HIA.
So, Wassell will leave for a head injury assessment.
I think maybe when she got hit in the throat, there was a
me there,
knock
scrum.
up onto the
Okay.
chin.
Do we have somebody coming on?
So this has come from the off-field
Okay.
doctors. I think it's great, you know, checking up on players, making sure that they're okay.
Alice Martin is on, wearing 16. She will replace... Not sure who she'll replace just yet, but this gives us the perfect
okay?
moment, Nolly, to discuss your player of the match contenders.
Okay, we'll work
please.
on the space.
Yeah, I think, you know,
To
the
the side or
fact that I've
gap?
gone for 3 forwards, for Keeney
Okay, we'll
at
work on
set piece, 100% at line outs, her work rate, just talked about 13
so
tackles,
here's your mark here.
phenomenal.
So you just set up to the
You've
left
got
and then you set up
Zanetti,
to the left as well. Yeah,
first ever start,
Okay.
21 years of age, 2 tries, and
Yeah,
a
just set up
huge
to the
amount of
left.
work
Yeah, happy.
around the park. You've got Scorbini. I said it and I said it again, one of the hardest working players in this Italian side. And then Sofia Stefan, she's been whipping the ball out. As a senior player, she's provided a platform that has given an edge to the Italian attack. So, yeah, I think, you know, the backs are great, but the forwards have given them a superb platform today.
McGee dancing around, looking for that outside break in off her wing and hungry for touches, of which she has been starved this afternoon.
It's great defence from Stillery in that 13 shirt, showing her experience, covering across, offering her the outside and then swiping her down.
Lou McMillan, Saracens Cup captain. Donaldson with a swerve.
Okay, watch that.
Rihanna Darroch has joined us, Scotland's replacement scrum half. They went 6-2 on their bench, Scotland. Oh, hang on a minute, Molly Pullman. That is outrageous! With a score that would make Reece Carey blush. Today has been all about the front row union.
That is unbelievable. Come on, super slow-mo. Look at that.
Nice one.
Ostuni Manuzzi has been on fire all game defensively. But Pullman, take a bow. That is one hell of a dummy.
Zoe Nada, our touch judge, had a smile like a Cheshire cat as she ran alongside. Easy as you like for Helen Nelson.
Yeah, it's just a misread, isn't it, between 2 of the bench players from the Italians. Shelley just not quite stayed on her player, but you've got to give it to Pullman. She took her opportunity straight through. disbelief. That's on a highlights reel for sure.
It's the 21-year-old's first try for her country on her 10th cap. And it could not have been more flamboyant.
Okay, leave it there. Okay,
Something
stop.
for Scottish fans
Use
to
it.
smile about on an afternoon where those have been in very short supply.
Okay, okay, easy there, easy there. Stop. Okay, yep.
Dara
Still alive.
clearing her lines. Kicks off both feet, does the young scrum half. They're really excited about her as a prospect. And you can see there, it's been a pretty handy day at set piece for the Scots. But that has just not transferred into joy on the scoreboard. Or you fear a cleaner
Okay.
bill of health.
Scotland,
as
I
they would
need you
like.
to open. Yeah, just open up. Come in, please.
Giordano down to Bitonci. Here comes Frangipani.
Tackle.
Neatly timed tackle by Boyd. Bitonci heads to the short side as she so often likes to do. Stevanin, Dainka onto Granzotto, who is pint-sized but so tricky to bring down. Sillery. She has gone well on her first start of the campaign. Pilani with a little help from Maurice and from Kelly.
Let's go.
3.5 to play. Victory for England at
Backwards.
Ashton Gate earlier, and then all eyes will turn to a blockbuster affair out in Clermont. A rematch of that scintillating World Cup quarter-final between Ireland and France. Ranuccini onto the debutant, Tonelotto. Turnover Scotland.
Back here.
Time is against them. But Scotland will have the arrows here to chip and chisel away at this points difference. It was such a congested mid-table last year.
Access.
Martin has it at the base. Immaculate throws so far from Ellis Martin. Only Amy Cockayne can match her 100% record for the tournament.
She's through the middle.
Darroch with it now. Onto Smith. Nelson was on her shoulder, but she managed to offload it onto Phillips. Fabulous deception from the Bristol bat. Martin. Nelson putting her body on the line with that clean out there. Bartlett playing with a free shot, Scotland.
Advantage 9.
There's some knackered legs out there. It was a weary Donaldson jogging round into that short side.
No advantage. Okay, just 2 seconds. Okay, Dan, I'm going to come up to you on this then. Okay, I'll let you know when I'm at the screen.
I think maybe another face-on-face tackle.
Okay, at the screen then.
Okay, yeah, first angle is coming now.
So it's Sarah Manini.
Yes, 100% face-on-face, isn't it? It's just whether the line is checked. I think she's thinking that Smith is carrying. Doesn't actually read the no-look pass, does she? It's a massive carry into her channel.
Yes, it is fair play. She's upright.
From number 23, Phillips.
I've seen the majority of the forces through the chest. Would you agree with those facts? Okay.
She is tall and powerful, the sail shark.
Robbie, we're just going to slow it down a point of contact.
Yeah,
I think most of the force is initially through the head, so bear
Okay,
with us.
okay.
Actually being pitch side, obviously alongside you, Claire, little duck to yourself. But seeing Manini
There's head contact.
up close, she's actually a lot bigger and a lot thicker set than I thought, and she looks, because she's very athletic.
Yeah, agree with those facts. Coming back to you now.
Okay, so it's number 12, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, back on you, Robbie.
Okay, so there is head contact, it's foul play. 12 blues upright in the tackle. She has to be lower, so she's at fault. Meets the yellow card threshold as well, so we'll go for an off-field review. Number 12.
Italy's third yellow card of the second half.
Yeah, it's a disappointing end, actually. I think Manini's had a brilliant game. She's been physical. It just looked a little bit at 6s and 7s defensively. Whether that's a fatigue thing or Scotland finally getting some momentum. Those yellow cards aren't necessarily a positive, you know, obviously never going to be a positive, but they're going to need to look at why they're coming in. Because there'll be other games that are a lot closer than this.
That's good. No, it's good. It's good.
Seconds remain of this one. Claimed and safely so by Macmillan. Scotland still going, might just have their third. That would mean the world to them.
Yeah. I'm going to check that.
If there's team celebrations trying to convince the referee, I think they 100% win that one.
Just take your players back, please. Take your players back.
Always worth a try.
Oh, they did look like they had a decent amount of momentum.
Just players back, thank you. So when I've come around, I haven't seen the ball on the floor. Okay, so on-field decision is no try, and then we'll ask if there's any other evidence. Okay, so Dan, I'm going to come up to you on this then.
Yeah, no problem. We'll go from setup, Robbie.
Okay, yeah, so the on-field decision is no try. I've just come around late, seen it held up, so unless you can show me that it's grounded before that, it'll be a goal line dropout.
Yeah, no problem. On-field decision is held up.
Yeah, just go from the start, please.
It's a long hold way for Robbie Jenkinson. That's another 80-metre shuttle for the Irishman.
Okay, at the screen.
Yeah, first angle's coming.
Macmillan's ball. Tight rolling maul.
They're going to have to rock and roll that, aren't they? Because it looks like it's Lana Skeldon, whether she hits the ground. It's the, I think the shot before.
Yeah.
And rolls up onto the arm. But it's got to be clear and obvious.
This is your best angle.
Okay.
And I have a decision for you.
Okay.
It's coming back to you now. Okay, so I have no evidence to overturn your on-field decision of held up. So no try.
Okay, so you can come back to me then.
Yeah, it's on you.
Okay, so it's no try, held up in goal line dropout.
So the try will not stand, but there is something we're about to award, because Nolly Walsman, I would love to know who is going to be your Guinness Women's Six Nations Player of the Match.
We've had some fantastic performances, but it's that lady waving on the screen, Francesca Scorbini. Her work rate has been phenomenal. She's next to her teammate and 50 kappa, Sylvia Tirani, but 15 carries, 57 metres, 10 tackles, and just a phenomenal impact on this game.
Just about sums it up. Turned over by Italy's captain, Elisa Giordano. Bitonci wellies that upfield. Nelson has to give it everything to chase it because the Inca is bearing down upon her. The Inca makes the tackle. Bitonci's there in support. Ranuccini as well. And Italy have just given this both barrels for 80 minutes. It has been by a country mile their best performance of the campaign, and they will head into the bye week with such confidence.
Thanks, Johnny.
They finally gave us 2 halves of competitive rugby, but Scotland would love the final say in this because they too, they need a bit of confidence heading into all that is to come. Huge matches on the horizon for them. France at home, Ireland at the Aviva before a record-breaking crowd.
That's a good contest. Okay, no hands now.
An almighty tussle at the breakdown. Raleigh, lovely hands
advantage
from Bogan, but Italy with scrum advantage. Here's the debutant, Tornellotto. Greasily could go for another score, but they won't. They will hack it into heaving stands and get their first win of the campaign. Not just of the campaign, but in 230 long days. How they needed that. You can see what it means as they leapfrog Wales in the standings and have a fortnight to savour this before the dominant force in world rugby rolls into Parma. Scotland will rue that one. That one will more than sting. That one will really, really hurt, not just for the scoreline, but the manner of the defeat, for the attritional nature of that loss. And the blue-clad hordes just keep coming for Sione Fukafuka because they have got France to contend with in Edinburgh after the break. Full time in Parma. It is Italy, triumphant and emphatic with it, 41, Scotland 14. And Nolly, this one felt poised on a knife edge before kickoff. It's been so tight in recent times between these two sides. I think that could be several answers to this question, but what in your eyes was the difference?
I think there was a huge energy coming out from the blocks, from the Italians. I think their pack was superb. 100% set piece scrum and line out is incredibly impressive at international level, but they didn't take their foot off the throttle. There were huge shots flying in for 80 minutes. Their set piece was great, their determination in defence, and they made it, yes, an inexperienced Scottish side look very, very average at times, and just capitalised on every opportunity they got.
Scotland, who were shorn of their talismanic captain just before they headed to the ground today, sorely missing Rachel Malcolm. But Italy, as you said, Nolly, they have really revved it right from the base of the standings up to jostle with some of the real runners and riders of the Women's Six Nations. There at Italy, up in third, courtesy of that bonus point victory. Scotland dropped down into 5th place. Wales, well beaten by England at Ashton Gate earlier on today. The Red Roses, of course, at the summit, but that a properly tasty one still to come. France hosting Ireland at the Marcel Michelin, the late kickoff today, and one of the games that we all ringed in our calendars in big, thick, permanent marker when the games were released. A massive grudge match, team sheets groaning with talent, so please do make sure you seek that one out. Well, the two huddles tell you everything you need to know in Parma. A fantastic result for the Azzurri. They have their first win of the 2026 Guinness Women's Six Nations.
Get it. One-way game. It's a one-way story, but no worries.
Siamo in Sardegna.
Silvia, many congratulations. The first win for Italy in 230 days. What are the emotions which come with that?
Now I'm just happy. I'm really proud of all the girls. I think we all step up. Two tough games, but we definitely came up firing today. That's what we wanted, and I'm really proud of them.
How powerful was being at home in all of that? Because you started brilliantly and then you didn't let up for 80 minutes.
Yeah, it was great, you know, like playing at home, you take away the travel, which obviously matters, and we are really just happy. All the people were there, the stadium was full, we could really feel the people there. It makes a massive difference, so thank you very much for every one of you who came and support us today. Come back on the 9th of May because we need you.
How frustrating was it the first 2 rounds to have played some good rugby in patches but just been inconsistent over the 80, and how satisfying was it to fix that today?
Yeah, we've been working on that. I think all the girls step up today. We played brilliantly. We found the combination we needed, and it's just great. When things work, you're just happy. We enjoy when we can attack. Today we attacked, and we find that enjoyment.
It was your 50th today, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but across the scrum from you was Vittoria Zanetti, who is now a hero in Parma. Tell us a little bit about Vittoria.
Yeah, Vittoria, it's her first game starting today, so I'm really proud of her, and she was amazing today. She carried hard, really proud of her. She has definitely a bright future ahead.
And in terms of your 50th, I don't imagine it could have gone much better.
I feel old, but yeah, I'm just happy, you know, every game is an opportunity, and I never take for granted any game I played. But at times it's nice to have an opportunity to be celebrated, to feel the love of the people around me. And yeah, sometimes it's just nice, people supporting you, telling you what they thought about you, so never take that for granted.
Well, we think your smile when you left the field and the cheer that you got told us everything we needed to know. Silvia, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the girls. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Lana, it was said in the week by Sione Fukafuki, your head coach, that if you played to your potential, he was pretty confident that the performance would follow. Did we see you anywhere near your potential today?
I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't think we've put in an 80-minute performance just yet. I think you've seen glimpses across the last 3 games of what we are capable, and it is quite exceptional when we get it right. But yeah, we're just working to get that 80-minute performance at the minute, and it's just not quite there yet.
You're of course not looking for an excuse with the scoreline finishing the way that it did, but how much did the late withdrawal of your captain and the changing of your entire back row affect things?
I mean, obviously, like a reshuffle like that, like it is different and it is a change, but it's a new opportunity for other people to come in and show what they're about, and I think they did a great job today. Obviously, for me to come in as captain is also like an opportunity that I maybe didn't think would ever happen for me personally, but I've learned a lot from today, and I think like going forward, like that'll pay dividends if we end up in a similar situation, or even just to be able to assist Rachel better, like going forward, because she does a fantastic job, obviously, but to be able to help her a bit more would be beneficial for the team, I think.
Taking opportunity then as a theme, who did you notice on field stepping up around you as leaders who might not have worn the armband before?
I think like behind the post, like for me, like Meryl Smith, like is a very cool, calm, collected character. Like obviously she's very young, she's very talented, but I think she speaks with great maturity. And yeah, she was fantastic behind the post. I think Chloe Rowley at the back today as well. Like she brought her experience and her voice as well, like which helped us out, like especially defensively to see those pictures. Like I can't really see them up front as well as she can, so her feeding them into me as well, like that really helped. But yeah, I think those two like really stepped up.
Has the fallow week come at a good time for this group? Because you had to play 87 hard-fought minutes in Cardiff, and then last week, emotionally and physically, I imagine, has left you all exhausted.
I think like the fallow week for any team's a good chance to reset, whether you're winning or losing, to be honest. 3 on the bounce is quite tough to ask, but yeah, like we'll go into that, we'll reset, we'll recover, and we'll come back stronger, hopefully.
Appreciate your time, Lana. Hard lines today.
Thank you.
Fabio, what pleased you most about those 80 minutes?
Yeah. We are very happy. We are very happy. Again, it's our 4th week, first time that we training with a 34 player in front of our fans, our family. So I'm very proud. I think all the effort that all the players put in the training week, today we could see into the match. We had a very good start, 30 minutes especially. We create opportunity to score. We did. And also in defense, we generated, I think, around 9 turnovers. So it's what we prepared for, and finally we put into the game.
As you said, plenty of tries, some amazing defence, particularly on the scramble, under pressure, but also perfect set piece. So it must have been a very happy coach's box altogether.
Yeah. Again, every time we identify an area of our game, so again, also scrum or lineouts, and we try to improve and work hard and just increase our standard. We trust in the work, we trust in the hard work. So, but we know that we can do just one small step every week. So we try to focus on that.
It's a cliche, but it is one founded on truth. Winning is a habit. So given that Italy hadn't won in over 200 days, how important is just getting a result?
See, the scoreboard is important when you reach it, trusting in the process. So, and that is what we identify at the start with the player. We want to just focus on our performance. Again, starting with a strong defense, and after move the ball with the attack. So, and I hope now we need just to enjoy 1 week rest, and then prepare again a strong match against England.
Just to finish on that then, how do you prepare to take on England? Because they're beating everybody in their path and they're beating them with room to spare.
Yeah, in this moment England is a far away. So we just in our mind think about how we prepare. We want to do something different that can at the same time highlight something good for Italy.
Thank you very much for your time, Fabio, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's all right.
Sione, in what decisive areas did Italy have your number today?
Well, I think they brought a whole lot of energy in defence, put us under pressure on our attack systems, and obviously forced a few errors, got a few turnovers early, which we were pretty disappointed about. It's an area we identified that there would be a threat, and we just weren't as active as we wanted to be.
You mentioned energy. Do you think there was any physical or emotional hangover from Murrayfield last week?
I don't think there was a hangover, to be honest, because we were really excited to get the opportunity to play again. I think it's week 3 of Six Nations. There's a lot of players that have played long minutes, so there's an impact on that. But the reality is we came prepared, and we were confident coming prepared that we'd be able to put in a performance to get a result.
So with that in mind, can you put your finger on why you didn't have the energy levels you were hoping for, or why the accuracy wasn't where you expected it would be?
Yeah, fair. We didn't get purchase early. We did some really positive things, turned it over, and momentum swung really quickly. So we've got to learn as a team that when momentum swings, we reset and we go again and stick to the areas that we really wanted to target. We went a little bit away from that at times, which then allowed Italy to get some purchase, to put some pressure on us. And obviously, when you have possession, it's really challenging to keep turning up and making tackles.
What did you like about that performance? It felt towards the end as though some of your youngsters, those with very few international caps, made a bit of a difference.
Absolutely. We were really happy with the impact that we got off our bench. There's some young players that obviously are getting exposed to Six Nations for the first time, and that bodes well for the future. So clearly we had opportunities to score more points in the second half. We were much more direct, much more consistent with our game plan that we went into it, and we got returns on that. So really happy with that impact.
And just how hard is player availability stretching you as you look into the next fortnight and a match which, ahead of the championship, Rachel Malcolm described as gettable against the French?
Yeah, obviously it's a bit of a challenge when we don't have our top-line senior players, but the reality is a lot of teams are facing that. For us now, it's about resetting, getting bodies right, looking forward towards France and what we can do, having a bit of a break in the fallow week before getting a really good week of prep, getting home to the Hive and playing in front of Scottish fans.
Sione, thank you for your time and tough luck out there today.
Thank you, I appreciate it.